Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22 and 23. Suppose a man is guilty of a sin with a death sentence and he's put to death, and you hang him on a tree. His body is not to remain all night on the tree. Instead, you must certainly bury him the same day. For anyone hanging, okay, you know. So, two questions about that. Is God saying it's okay to hang on a tree, but not to remain hanged on the tree? Or is it okay not to be hanged on the tree at all, and certainly not to remain on the tree?
No. You certainly hang him, but you don't leave him there. Okay. Let's read the verses, and I think they're very interesting. Let's see the verses, and you can actually see the echo for these in the story of Saul, for instance, and the body of Saul that is recovered by the people of Yavesh Gilad, okay, from the wall of Bet Shen or Bet Shean. Okay, let's see these verses. Verse 22. Guys, who wants to read? Don't be shy. Gary, okay, go ahead. 22.
V'chiyeh v'ish hate mishpat mavet v'humat v'halita
Vetalita
oto all eights.
Okay, just a second before we move to 23. This is a casuistic law. Okay, what is a casuistic law, guys?
Good question.
Okay, casus. What is casus?
It's causal.
Really?
Cause.
Case law.
Case. Okay.
Casus case. Okay, this is a casuistic law, a definition that was offered almost 100 years ago by a German scholar by the name of Alt. Alt had very interesting ideas about archaeology, about ancient Israel. One of the observations that Alt made in regards to biblical law is the distinction between casuistic law and apodictic law, where casuistic law was the common type of law that you would find in the ancient Near East. By the way, different than what we have in our legal system. That I'm not getting into the history of our legal system, but usually this is not how laws are formulated today. This is a story, a case law. If so-and-so, then so-and-so, then so-and-so, and all of that is part of the case. And verse 23 is what should be done in this case. Okay? Now, the question of Saul is related to the fact that certain forms of the verb serve several purposes. But it starts with v'chi or ki, very common at the beginning of casuistic laws, case laws. V'chi, as far as the division of the verse, so we can see the atnach here. Okay, that's the first division. Then we have a division here, smaller division here, division here, division here. So if a man has a sin that is punishable by death, mishchet, mishpat mavet, chet, a sin which should be judged for death, mishpat mavet, with a capital judgment, if you will, vehumat, and he is indeed put to death. V'talita oto al etz. You should hang him on a tree. So the vekatal form, vehumat, and vetalita, they could do two different things. And this is the source of the kind of confusion. It can be an instruction. He should be put to death. Or it can be the continuation of the description of the case. Okay? So if there is a person who's done a sin that is punishable by death and was put to death, and you hang him on a tree, then so and so. So these two vekatal forms, vehumat and vetalita, they could be instructions. The vekatal can serve as an instruction, as a directive, as a law. Then he should be put to death, and you should hang him on a tree. But it could also be part of the condition. I think it's better read as part of the condition. If so and so happens, and the specific case is that he is put to death and he is hanged on a tree. Under these circumstances comes to effect the next law and the reasoning behind the law. Okay, and that is already verse 23. Okay, let's see verse 23. Saul, you wanted to ask something?
Well, I was going to ask, why is God offended if someone continues to be hung on a tree?
I don't know. Maybe we'll know after reading verse 23. Okay, maybe we can think about it together after reading verse 23. So let's read verse 23, guys.
If no one else wants to read it, I'll read it.
Go ahead, Saul.
Lo talin nivlato al ha'etz ki kavor tikberenu bayom hahu ki kilat Elohim talui velo tefame et admatecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha nachala.
Right. So can you translate?
No way.
Okay. Lo talin nivlato al etz. What is talin?
Hang.
No. Talita, you hanged. What is talin?
They hang.
No. Talin has to do with the root lamed yud nun. What is lamed yud nun? Lamed yud nun has to do with spending the night, lodging. Remember when Ruth and Naomi are traveling back from the Moab Heights to the city of Bethlehem? Ruth says to Naomi, Ba'asher talini alin, wherever you spend the night, wherever you lodge, I will lodge as well. Okay? Okay. So, lo talin nivlato al ha'etz. By the way, remember what we said about this could be either a part of the condition or an instruction. In rabbinic literature, it is understood as an instruction, even though, as I said, it is better read by the context just as part of the condition. Okay, according to rabbinic law, if someone is executed, he is hanged afterwards. Because of this verse, V'talita oto al etz, even though, as I said, according to the grammatical analysis, my grammatical analysis, it is better understood as part of the condition. And the instruction is lo tali nivlato al ha'etz. Okay, you shall not let his corpse be spend the night on the tree. Ki, and here you can see the various uses of the word ki. We have here nice example for the flexibility of this term ki. Here we have the first one, as we said, is if. Okay. How should we understand ki kavot ikberenu bayom hahu? But rather, okay, you shall not let his corpse spend the night on the tree, but rather you should bury him that very day, bayom hahu. So the second key is but rather, okay. And why? The third key here. Key, because, right, because ki lelat Elohim talui. Okay. This has an extensive Near Eastern background. I think that according to the Egyptian law and some Assyrian laws as well, the body of someone who is executed is not to be buried, but rather it should be eaten by the birds of the sky and by the animals of the land. Okay, and exposing the body, the corpse, to scavengers and to animals is considered to be a very bad curse, part of the description of bad things that may happen to you in Deuteronomy itself, right? And in just 7 chapters ahead of chapter 21, or after chapter 21, in chapter 28, you have that description. Same goes with the stories about the sons of Ritzpah, the daughter of Ayah, in the book of Samuel, and in other places, and it might be related to the burial being part of the way for a person to find peace. Again, when the prophets want to say that bad things would happen to someone, they say they will not be buried. For instance, when they talk about the kings of Judah, right? They will not be they will not wither, they will not be laid, and they will not be collected, they will not be buried. Okay, and there are many other cases that leaving someone unburied is considered to be a great punishment. Okay, by the way, kavot ikberenu bayom hahu created this standard in Judaism of burying very close to death. I know that this is one of the biggest difference that I see with some of my, many of my students are not Jewish, and one of the differences is that Jews bury very shortly after the passing, that very day or the following day. Okay, the joke is that sometimes, all Jewish people in Florida are just taking a nap, and someone, yeah, they have to say, no, I'm still here. No, but that's a common practice, especially in Jerusalem. So you may wait, if someone is flying in, you're waiting a day or so. But generally speaking, in Judaism, burial is done at the day of the passing or the following day. Ki kilelat Elohim talui. Now, here, because a talui, this is the masculine singular passive kal participle, the hanged one is kilelat Elohim. What is kilelat Elohim?
Isn't called light?
Okay, so the connection is to make something light. What does it mean?
Cursed of God?
Curse. So light and curse, okay? Something that is taken lightly, okay, is something that is taken not with all seriousness, not in a respectful way. So the notion of curse, okay, is disrespect and is to take lightly. How do you respect in Hebrew? What do you call, how do you say respect in Hebrew? Honor your father and mother. How would that be?
Kavod.
Kavod. Kavod. Related to the root kaf, bet, and dalet. What is the meaning of this root?
Isn't it heavy, covering?
Right, kaved is heavy. And the opposite of that?
Oh,
Kiolat.
Kal, right. The kal binyan, guys, is the...
PL.
No. The kal binyan is the... What do I always tell you guys? What is the meaning of the word kal?
Light.
Light. Now you can see I was not lying to you. Okay. So the opposite of respectable is light. So since personally I'm dealing with overweight, I feel respectable, right? Okay, kaved. I have a lot. Right. The same goes for English. The word talent is measurement of weight. So I'm talented. I have weight. Right. So kilelat Elohim talui. It is disrespectful for God that someone is hanged. Okay. Why?
Man is created in God's image.
So this is really the rabbinic view and the traditional view, okay, of this understanding. Since man is created in God's image, okay, it is disrespectful for the image of God. It might be that it is disrespectful also to the spirit, okay, of God, okay. Moreover, okay, the second reason or an additional reasoning is reflected in the last two lines that we have here, or in the second to last line specifically. Let's see this. What we can make out of this last two lines. Danny, would you like to translate the last two lines?
No, but I'll read them.
Okay.
ולא תטמא את אדמתך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך נחלה. something about not you're to make profane, evil, or the land.
Okay, right. How would leaving that person unburied would profane the land?
God created life and man created death.
This is very interesting, but how would that mechanism work here? I think that the leaving of that person unburied. Yes, Rose, you want to say something?
I was going to say that after a while, they would start to smell and there would be flies on them.
Right.
And it would be very unsightly.
Unsightly, definitely, but it is also related to the laws of purity, as the dead person is the main source of impurity in the Bible. Okay, and if we leave it unburied, again, remember those animals will take parts of it all around, and that would make the land impure if there are parts of dead people all around. Remember that in the description, okay, of the wars of Gog and Magog, right, the end of time war, it is said that the people will be burying in order to leman taher et haaretz in Ezekiel 39. Okay, so Ezekiel 39 is describing all of the people going out and burying those dead people from the war of Gog and Magog, this end of time war, in order to purify the land. Okay, which means that someone who is left unburied is causing the the uncleanliness of the land. Same goes for other examples, like Joshua is burying the bodies of the kings of Canaan after having hanged them. Okay, in order to make sure, like commanded here, to not defile the land. ולא תטמא את אדמתך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך נחלה. So I don't know if we settled all of the questions concerning these verses, but certainly I hope we did something to elucidate some of the points concerning these